Compliments of the season and a beautiful morning to you from the city of Abuja. This is another exciting edition of Now Streaming, your morning talk show where we address burning issues and of course celebrate good news and other topics that have the potential to change our lives. I am your host, Charles Philip Wakolam. And I have with me our in-house analyst, Shegu Aregbe, here with me. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Yes, and of course, viewers will be discussing the trending news for this morning, Thursday, the 16th of December, 2021. Do remember your call is important as we await your comments and questions right here on the show. It is always our pleasure. All right, our first story is on police. Federal government increases police salary by 20% effective from January 2022. Mr. Shegun. Yeah. So we've been on this. Lately, we heard police saying we've not received our November salary and the rest of it, and even at some point, people started making jokes about it. Some people advising other Nigerians, be careful while you travel. Police have not been paid November salary. So right now, the federal government have decided to put some smile on their faces, boost their morale by increasing salary to 20%.
For me, I think this is a good development. Yes, coming up from federal government. And if we have to talk about the police sector, we will see that one of the reasons why we even have our police behaving the way they behave is actually because of how they are being treated financially, that's monetarily and otherwise benefits and all this I would say conditions that are supposed to be part of what they enjoy as citizens working for their country. But then I don't know, I think federal government have said a lot of things over the years. They will do this, they will do that, but coming from Mr. President as usual, it is not saying that we will do, but they say they have increased it and it will come into effect in January. So we are just praying and hoping that this will have a lot of effect on the Nigerian police, their attitude to work, the way they relate to people. We know they work under duress and aggression a lot of times. Yes, you know, some of them feel that standing under the sun and all of this for a very long time, and there's no good benefits to show. You know, when you're not working with joy, there are a lot of things that comes with it. Yes, and I think for Nigerian police, they are one among many. And I think that this is a good step, and the federal government, if we continue like this, we might be heading somewhere.
Okay, that's a good one. Let me just read some other details here. They're going to raise duty tour allowance to 6%, approves payment of 1.102 billion naira for uninsured personnel from 2013 to 2020. OK's 13.12 billion naira outstanding death benefits for 5,472 personnel from 2013 to August 2021, and 18.6 billion naira tax waiver approved for junior officers from October 2021. And I think all this really, if they become effective, is really going to boost the morale of Nigerian police, and we'll hope to see it on the road, on the streets. The extortion of money on the road, we expect to see it reduce, and the rest of it.
And I think one thing that really catches me here the more is the 1.2 billion payment of outstanding burial expenses. You know, people who have lost their loved ones who are
in the police force.
Yes, and they are breadwinners. You know, the family has lost all hope. There are a lot of children who are out there roaming the street because of this kind of situation, not getting funds for their lost loved ones who were breadwinners. And I think with this, yes, federal government is doing a lot if this comes to bear.
Yes, and just to let you know, Minister of Police Affairs Alhaji Maigari Dingyadi disclosed this in Abuja while speaking to newsmen at the end of the weekly virtual FEC meeting at the State House, presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari. Like we told you earlier, the increment will take effect from January 2022. Other packages announced by the federal government included the tax waiver for junior officers and the rest of them. Okay, let's move to the next story. Kaduna lawmaker buried as bandits abduct additional five people in Zaria. That's another news right there about insecurity, coming from Kaduna State. The Kaduna lawmaker has been buried, but news said 5 more people have been abducted by bandits in Zaria.
Well, banditry in Kaduna is not a new story on that Kaduna State, but now Zaria. I mean, I've barely really heard about kidnaps and all of that happening in Zaria.
Okay.
Because, I'm privileged to have schooled in Zaria, and even when you have riots going on in Kaduna, before it gets into Zaria, they know that it has really gotten out of hand. Yes, Zaria has been kind of a peaceful place over time. So, for banditry to begin to go into Zaria, where we even have on your way to Zaria, we have Jaji, and in Zaria we have NMS. That's the Nigerian Military School. And then so we have enough security hand to even say if anything wants to go wrong, it should not be a place like Zaria. But for the fact that even recently you hear where the military base itself is being attacked. So what do you expect?
I was going to remind you of that.
Yes, so you wouldn't expect less, and now you see a lawmaker being buried. I don't know, maybe now that it has started to touch the government itself, maybe it would sit up and understand that it's not just the common man anymore, because maybe obviously because it's been the common man over time, they've really neglected tightening the security system and all. But now that it's beginning to touch lawmakers, I think, but then for those who have been taken away, we just pray and hope that the security system that we have in Zaria will be able to help get these ones out.
Okay, just to let the viewers know out there, the place the attack was launched is Dala 2 and Kasuwar Da villages of Dusin Aba ward in Zaria local government area of Kaduna State. Like we said, there are 5 people that were abducted right there. The attack came about 24 hours after government blocked the Kaduna-Zaria highway and killed at least 3 people, while dozens were abducted. Okay, like you said, Shegun, we pray that the security around there will be able to rescue these ones. Okay, let's just move on to another one. It's still revolving around the banditry, but right now comments coming from the government, where the Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, says no president can assure you that banditry will end at so time. I mean, we've been on this for about 6 years now. On this government. This government have been existing for like 6 years, and one of the promises they made is that they are going to provide security, and they're almost rounding up now, and the Minister of Information is telling Nigerians that no government can tell you that banditry will end so time. I believe what most Nigerians are asking for is do something. Let's see what you are doing. Of course. So what do you make of this?
Well, coming from him, Lai Mohammed, Minister of Information.
Yes.
I mean, I have not seen him give Nigerians any credible information since he came to being minister, because he's not supposed. Such information is not supposed to come from him. For me, such information is not supposed to come from him, and nobody will tell you that banditry. If nobody can say that, before the president came into power, one of his promises were, I would take off terrorism from Nigeria under 6 months. 6 months. That's what he said. Because he was accusing the former administration that whenever insecurity lasts for more than 48 hours in a country, then the federal government has something to say about it. They have a hand in it. So is he telling us that this federal government has a hand in it? And he's even telling us that they cannot assure us, they cannot even tell us that under 1 year they will be able to stop banditry and the rest of that. So what is the Nigerian security system doing? What are our serving chiefs doing? If they cannot do anything, then remove them and put people who are capable of doing these things. Why are they there in the first place? They are there for such reasons, to be able to protect life and properties. And if our lives and properties are endangered by the day, then we should hold them accountable. And now Minister of Information is coming out to tell us that they cannot assure, they cannot even say that they can end banditry in 1 year. So if you cannot do anything about it, what are you trying to tell us? In other words, that everybody should live by their faith. Whatever comes, you should take it. Is that what he's saying? So I mean, it's very poor and it's very pathetic. I think just for the purposes of next regime, any president coming into power should diligently check out for people they put in positions, because statements, words are like egg. When they fall to the ground, you can't gather them again. Nigerians are even looking for words of assurance right now, not this kind of words, because right now you're already demoralizing the minds of the people. You're making people even scared them more. People are beginning to ask themselves questions. Okay, if the government is saying this, then what's our fate?
Yes.
I mean, so it's very poor. For me, it is really, really poor.
I mean, I believe that, okay, the issue of insecurity is one you might not say that categorically that we are going to end it by this particular time, but a visionary person, you should be able to have achieved something within the time
frame.
Within the time you've been in the office, would have been able to tell us, look at what we've done, and Nigerians must have seen it significantly. Okay, you've achieved this, we've reduced this, but things keep increasing. These security issues, they keep coming up every day by day, and it looks like our security forces and the rest of them are overwhelmed. But that leads me to another story. Insecurity in Nigeria, help on the way from China. China has offered to send a high-level delegation of criminal investigation experts to meet with Nigerian security agencies. This is coming from a Chinese ambassador to Nigeria, Koi Jianchun. He disclosed this on Wednesday in Abuja while speaking to journalists on the side of the October 1 China-Nigeria Friendship Award to students of Ahmadu Bello University. Kui said that the move by China is part of its support to tackling the insecurity bedeviling Nigeria. He also disclosed that the security experts are expected to arrive in Nigeria soon. Okay, he went on to say that China's central government is really concerned about the security situation in Nigeria and also the Chinese nationals in Nigeria. Okay, so what do you make of this? Are the Chinese people coming to help Nigeria in tackling the security problems? Does it go on to say that, yes, we are overwhelmed, you can no longer control this, we need help from outside? Then what is it going to be? What is going to be in it for the Chinese government coming to help Nigeria? Are they going to benefit anything? These are the questions.
I'm not shocked by this news at all. Yes, I'm not shocked.
These are the questions, going around in my brain.
I should say this on air. Just yesterday I was talking to somebody and I was telling him that, you see this business transaction happening between Nigeria and China. There's an undertone to it. I'm telling you. And the reason is not far-fetched.
Okay.
China is looking for world power. America has held it for a very long time, and there's been a tussle between the both of them.
Okay.
So China are doing everything possible to give helping hand, just the way America has done for other people over the years that has made them rise to where they are. And for Nigeria, which is like the giant of Africa, what do you think if they have Nigeria at their palm? Don't you see where they're going already? So this is wisdom for China. They know what they're doing. And I just think Nigerian government should be very careful. Yes, they've borrowed you a lot of money and they're offering you security. You know, so I don't know if we really sit down to really digest things, our government, when things are being offered to us from, you know, the international bodies. A white man would naturally not give you anything for free. If he's giving you something, he has a reason why he's giving you. Yes, that's the truth. So for me, it's a good thing China is offering us such a privilege, but I know it's not free of charge. You know, yes, on the long run, it has effect. But then, Nigeria on its own, China offering to give us security, intelligence, let's come to terms, let's discuss this thing, give you ways of tackling insecurity. We have, I don't know the number of generals we have in Nigeria. And I know that before you become a general in a country, there's a certain height you have achieved. You don't just become a general. These are intelligent people, smart. Did you know when the likes of the Buhari, them, when they were doing cool in those days and taking over power, do you know, that was intelligence. Like, you had to really have proper plans and, you know. So where are those intelligence right now that we cannot put them to use in tackling terrorism and banditry? And then you have to say China should come and give you helping hand. That's, for me, it's very wrong. It's very, very, I don't even think that the kind of terrorism we have in Nigeria, China has faced that kind of terrorism before. So how do you want to come and, what experience do you want to come and give us? We have other countries that have had this kind of challenges, really had it, and they've had, the ways they tackled it has been more professional to come and share with us. So I don't know what Nigerians are thinking, if I'm the only one thinking the way I'm thinking right now. So I think we should, as beautiful and juicy as this looks, we should think about it again.
Well, okay, we just have to move on from that. And EFCC arrests First Bank Holdings GMD over $72.87 million Diezani loot. And somehow Diezani makes it to the headlines again. I will take some of the details. The EFCC said it has arrested First Bank GMD Nnamdi Okonkwo over $72.87 million linked to former Petroleum Minister Diezani Alison Madueke. Wilson Ujaren, the spokesperson for the EFCC, announced on Wednesday in Abuja that Mr. Okonkwo, a former managing director of Fidelity Bank PLC, was under detention in connection with the money. While all the $153 million were recovered by EFCC, the cases involving $115 million as it relates with the INEC bribery matter are in various courts, he explained. Okonkwo and Charles Onyedibe are currently being detained by EFCC over the whereabouts of the new $72.87 million. Mr. Shegu.
You know, for me, figures.
We call it relooting money.
It's no news again if bank managers and, you know, other people are being held for looted funds, because there's no way you can even loot federal government fund without the banking system. Is it possible? Because this money,
I haven't done it before. So.
You don't know what it looks like. Exactly. But then these funds they can only be a business transacted from the bank. So at any point in time where fund is being looted, then one bank in one way has to be held responsible, because it is through a particular bank that this fraudulent act has been done. It's just like the 60 billion issue we're having about one unnamed governor recently. You know, how do they move this money? So, and the figures are big. The figures are big.
Yes.
You know, and for me, I just wonder, what do you want to do with this money? As much as this money are funds that are meant for the whole citizens of the country.
I mean, that goes to show how porous our security, our cyber security is. I mean, with how digital the world have gone now, and people can still move this huge amount of monies, and you just have to discover it later that the money is missing and the rest of it. I mean, it goes to show how poorly we are doing.
I think it was earlier this week when we were discussing on the show, where we talked about Anambra coming up with this new technological system for revenue and all of that. I think Nigeria is supposed to have gotten to that stage where everything that has to do with monetary aspect is systematically documented. You should not be able to move a fund from one bank account to another bank account that is worth $1 billion without proper documentation and traces. We should know where it's going to, where it's coming from, for what purposes it is being used for. And it's because we don't have this. If we actually have it, then, I mean, all of this, they are looting, they are not looting, would have it to the barest minimum. So for me, I don't know, Desani's issue over time has lingered. It has lingered. And the first time I realized she was looting funds, I was wondering what she was looting funds for, because her family is over time being, you know, she's from a wealthy family.
Okay.
Yes, she's from a wealthy family, and her family has a lot to do with oil, and you know, still looting money. I'm wondering what she was looting all of those money for, a woman for that matter. And now a man has been tied to the GMD and Mr. Okonkwo.
What difference does it make a woman, man? I don't know.
Yes, okay, for me, yes. When I say a woman, you know, we have looked at the Nigerian government over the years that they like to not really give women some certain position in the Nigerian government. And I think if a woman is now given a position, it should be she should be credible with it. That's why I'm saying a woman. Yes, okay. so that it's an opportunity for more women to actually. I mean, look at Okonjo-Iweala. I mean, you know, that woman she's really been one to talk about. And you know, when we have many more women like that in the government, I think we would go forward. So.
Okay, thank you very much. We're moving on to the next one here. Remember, viewers, you can call in to make your comment, ask your questions as regards any of the topics we've discussed. But right now, reps seek termination of passport contracts outside Nigeria. We have this on the Daily Trust, and it says House of Reps on Wednesday call for termination of all existing contracts for production of Nigerian passports outside Nigeria. It also lamented the state of operations of Nigerian foreign missions in many parts of the world. Should I read further? Okay. These were contained in a report by the House Committee on Foreign Affairs on the oversight visit to the Nigerian consulate, Atlanta, Georgia, United States of America, and the Nigerian High Commission in Kingston, Jamaica. The report says the delegation discovered that the shortage in the number of passports required by Nigerians in diaspora had continued to be a major issue in Nigeria missions. And it stated that the reality on the ground indicates that Nigerian standard passports and others are still being printed outside the shores of the country. What do you make of this?
At this point, I'm dumbfounded. How would you be printing?
That passports
have been printed outside the shores of this country. I mean, no. That's very wrong. That means fraudulent activities can be done with our passports. Passports should only be printed in the country, sole country of that. I mean, this is like an identity of a country.
It's not like it is our identity.
And you're doing it. That's. It's at this point. Do we even have a country?
If I have my information right, if I can still remember clearly, recently we launched our digital passport, I guess, in UK. It was launched in UK. I mean, we felt we are making progress with how we produce and give out our passports, and we are launching it in UK. We were in program that day, now streaming that day, and we were discussing it. I mean, how will you go outside the country to launch your country's passport in another country? And it doesn't just feel right.
I don't know the expertise that we have in this country that handles some certain aspects of our activities. I don't know how they come up with their ideologies, their policy, their standards to which they do things. Do they see other developed countries how they do their things? Can America come to Nigeria and be launching such? So we should really think deep when we do our things. We are a growing country. We're a developing country. So
yes,
as a developing country, there are things you ought to do right. Because if you don't get it now, you cannot come back to do it again.
That's right.
So how would you, for crying out loud, well, thank God the reps are actually taking this bold step to say it should be stopped. And when it means stopped, anybody who is caught doing this in any other part of the country should really face the law. I think that's utmost for me.
Okay, still on House of Reps, they are probing 59.8 billion naira surveillance equipment contract, and I want to read the details a little bit. House of Reps on Wednesday also directed its Committee on Navy to probe the legality of $195,300,000, the equivalent of 59,839,930,000 contracts awarded, that's in naira, awarded to a foreign private company, HLS International Limited, for the supply of certain security and surveillance equipment and systems. And they're ordering just a probe into this contract and the payment. The House Committee they asked the House Committee to ascertain if the contract award complied with the extant laws and regulations. And okay, that's basically that. I mean, if we are doing contract with any company, private company outside the shores of Nigeria, I think this is a good step. It should be rightly probed, and to make sure there's no fraudulent acts in and out of it. Do you have anything to say?
Okay, first and foremost, having gone through this this story, yes. My first question is, why in the first place did they actually give this contract to an international body? Is it that in Nigeria we don't have capable organizations that could have carried this out, first and foremost? Then secondly, one thing I am seeing from this story, if I have to be sincere, is the fact that when you see the House of Rep probing a particular fund, trust me, is because just maybe dues were not paid rightly. Yes, as
Off
though
your mic, Honorable.
as though it is important for these acts to be done. It's important to probe, to checkmate, for checks and proper checks and balancing. Yes, it's very important. It's very, very important. And I think if this has been one of the things that has been happening over the years in the Nigerian government, Nigerian system, we would have gone far. There are a lot of things that would have not swept under the carpet, yes. But then because we have had a lot of negligence to duty over the years, it has cost us. But for me, this is a very good step. And if they find any hitches here and there, maybe the equipments are not brought in, or they did not bring in the exact equipments, or the funds that were requested for are much more than the amount that, like, maybe there was too much inflation and all those things. And fine, all those should be put into consideration, and the company should come and defend itself. And I think that's proper.
Okay, you know, your first statement reminded me when the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Goswe Babio, said that it is the House members themselves, most of them collect the contracts, some of these contracts.
Yeah.
But not to go on with that, we're out of time. Electoral bill, 3 days to go. Buhari keeps Nigerians in suspense. I mean, there's been a lot of appeals for the president to sign this electoral bill, and right now it seems the president is playing a card close to his chest as ex-lawmaker expresses optimism. Onyebuchi Ezigbo in Abuja, Emma Okonji and Musa in Lagos, they are all saying president is keeping us in suspense. Do you have anything to say before we go?
We've talked about this news over and over again. And I remembered very vividly on the show that I said some time ago, this is fishy, and I don't see him signing it. What made him not to have signed 30 days ago, 19 days ago, 10 days ago, and now it's 3 days to go? This is not some football transfer. It's football transfer that you say maybe 5 minutes to go. A deal can still be sealed. Maybe even in 1 minute, under a minute, a deal can be sealed, you know, where you have countdown. So are we having countdown in the president signing electoral bill? That every Nigerian has been begging him, everybody has been soliciting, please sign, please, because we know that if you sign this, it will really help our election come 2023 have a better shape. If first and foremost, the president has Nigeria electoral system at heart, and he wants a better 2023 election. For crying out loud, why would he have taken him this long to sign? In 2019, he said the time was short. But now they gave you 30 days. Do you know what 30 days is? Like, that's a whole month. And then he has 3 days to go in 30 days, and he still hasn't signed. He's not even saying anything. He said he's consulting. I don't know what consulting. Yeah, maybe, you know. So for me, I would say this just in case the president is hearing, except though he has another agenda. If he doesn't have another agenda, he should please sign this bill before it runs out.
Yes, we'll leave it at that, and I want to say thank you for joining us on the show for today, the Thursday edition of Now Streaming.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. That was Mr. Segun Aregbe. And viewers, this is where we'll call it a day for today's program. Till we'll come your way again, same time, same station tomorrow. Stay blessed. Olujide will be returning with your favorite sports show. That is Sports Hour. And till we'll come your way again, I am Charles Philip Wakolam saying bye, compliments of the season once more.